Marine Le Pen, the leader of Rassemblement National, the populist right-wing party in France, has just been sentenced to 4 years in jail, of which 2 suspended.
This woman who has been fighting politically, and she's really been on the right. 30 years ago, she was talking about the immigration problem. So these people, it's kind of like Donald Trump 2015, build a wall, we have an immigration problem, and then it really came to pass. And now even Democrats like Bernie Sanders are admitting it, even though they're the type of people that did everything to break the immigration system and stop the wall and everything else. So it's like, is this really about, oh my God, she took some funds and paid a security guard? Or is this, oh, she is a threat to the globalist order that wants these open borders and everything else? Eva Vlaardingerbroek, who I've had on the show, who's an activist out of Holland, here she is, and she's been very, very outspoken in terms of what has happened to her country, which is very similar to what has happened in France. Here she is talking about the political bias into the investigations into Marine Le Pen.
Okay, so the lawfare being used against right-wing politicians in Europe is being taken to a whole new level. Marine Le Pen, the leader of Rassemblement National, the populist right-wing party in France, has just been sentenced to 4 years in jail, of which 2 suspended, and has been barred from partaking in French politics for the next 5 years. That means that she's been barred from running against Macron for the position of the president of France. She's been convicted for allegedly embezzling European funds, misusing European funds for her national fraction of the party instead of the European fraction of the party, which I dare to bet money on the fact that if any judicial system in any European country would launch an investigation into left-wing parties to see if they were doing that let's say 80% of them would be found guilty of the same thing, because I used to work in the European Parliament, and trust me, this is something that I think happens a lot more than they want you to believe. And of course, we will never know that because they don't launch investigations into left-wing parties, because the whole aim of this is to crush the right wing in Europe, because we're growing too fast. And so the system, the cabal, needs to come down on us through another way. And what do? Lawfare. They're banning us. They're banning our parties. They're banning politicians from running. They're convicting us of hate speech and hate crimes. That's how they do it. That's the new strategy.
Okay, so there's a little more context in how she used the funds, and I venture to say that Ava's right. Like, look into how some of the lefties in government have used these funds, whether it was supposed to go to their party or the European parties or whatever it was, and I'm going to guess you're going to find an awful lot of misallocated funds and the rest of it. The broader point, though, of course, is that what the European Union, the globalists, whatever you want to call this thing at this point, what they don't want are independent nation states that will stand up for their culture. That is why Conor McGregor is now running for president of Ireland, because Ireland should be for Irish people. It's okay. They can have Guinness and have their shillelagh and enjoy themselves. And it's, oh, yes, that's right, Conor. Conor over here is very excited about that.